Good morning, Prep 3. We will start Algebra and Statistics, Unit 2, Lesson 1, the ratio and proportion. We will study the ratio and proportion in primary 6. Okay, what is the meaning of the ratio? If A and B are two real numbers, if A and B are two real numbers, this means belong to the set of real numbers, then the ratio between A and B is written as A to B or A over B, and is read A to B, where A is called the antecedent, the first term, and B is called the consequent, the second term of the ratio. Again, if A and B are two real numbers, then the ratio between A and B is written A to B or A over B, and is read A to B, where A is called the antecedent of the ratio, B is called consequent of the ratio. The properties of the ratio. Number 1, the value of the ratio doesn't change. Very, very important. The value of the ratio doesn't change if each of its terms is multiplied or divided by the same non-zero real number. For example, 2 to 3, the ratio between two numbers, 2 to 3, if multiplied or divided by the same non-zero real numbers, the value of ratio doesn't change. For example, multiply by 4, then 2 by 4 equals 8, 3 by 4 equals 12, then 2 over 3 equals 8 over 12. Okay? Property number 2, the value of ratio not equal 1, it changes if we add or subtract, add to or subtract from each of its terms, non-zero real number. For example, 2 to 3, in a ratio between two numbers, 2 to 3. For example, add 1, add or subtract, add to or subtract from. Then 2 plus 1 equals 3, 3 plus 1 equals 4. Then 2 over 3 equals 3 over 4, not equal. Then the value of ratio not equal 1. It changes if we add or subtract to or from each of its terms, non-zero real number. What is the meaning of proportion? Proportion, it is the equality of two ratios or more. Again, it's the equality of two ratios or more. For example, if I have box, box contain 2 pens. If I have box contain 2 pens. For example, number of box and the number of pens. If I have one box, there is 2 pens. If I have 2 boxes, there are 4 pens. If I have 3 boxes, there are 6 pens. If I have 4 boxes, there are 8 pens. If I have 5 boxes, there are 10 pens. If I have 6 boxes, there are 12 pens, and so on. The ratio between number of boxes over the ratio between number of pencils equals number of boxes 1 over 2 or 2 over 4 equals 3 over 6 equals 4 over 8 equals 5 over 10 equals 6 over 12. 1 over 2 equals 2 over 4 equals 3 over 6 equals 4 over 8 equals 5 over 10 equals 6 over 12. All ratios 2 over 4, 3 over 6, 4 over 8, 5 over 10, 6 over 12 equals half, equal constant. All ratios equal constant. Then this is called proportion. It is the equality of two ratios or more. 2 ratios or more. 2 over 4, 3 over 6, 4 over 8, 5 over 10, 6 over 12 equals half, equals constant, equals constant. This means the meaning of proportion. The meaning of proportion. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. If A over B equals C over D, then A, B, C, D are proportional. If A over B equals C over D, then A, B, C, and D are proportional, and the vice versa is correct. If A, B, C, and D are proportional, then A over B equals C over D. And A called the first proportional, B called second proportional, C called third proportional, D called fourth proportional. A and D called extremes, B and C are called means. Again, if A over B equals C over D, then A, B, C, and D are called proportional, and the vice versa is correct. If A, B, C, and D are proportional, then A over B equals C over D. A called the first proportional, B called second proportional, C called the third proportional, D called fourth proportional, and A and D are called extremes, B and C are called means. The properties of proportional. Property number 1, if A over B equals C over D, then A by D equal B by C. The product of extremes equal the product of means. For example, if 2 over 3 equals 4 over 6, then 2 by 6 equals 12, 3 by 4 equals 12. The product of extremes equals the product of means. Property number 2, if A by D equal B by C, then A over B equals C over D, and deduce that. If A by D equals B by C, then A over B equals C over D. If A by D equals B by C, then A over C equals B over D. If A by D equals B by C, then B over A, B over A equals D over C. If A by D equals B by C, then C over A, C over A equals D over B, D over B. Do you understand? Property number 2, very, very important. Property number 3, if A over B equals C over D, then A over C equals B over D. Very, very important. Property number 3, very, very important. The antecedent of the first ratio over the antecedent of second ratio equal the consequent of the first over the consequent of the second. Again, antecedent over antecedent equal consequent over consequent. If 2 over 3 equals 4 over 6, then 2 over 4 equals 3 over 6. Do you understand? 3 by 6 equals 12. 3 by 4 equals 12. Antecedent over antecedent equals sequent over sequent. For example, if A over 4 equal B over 3, then A over B, antecedent over antecedent, equal sequent over sequent, equal 4 over 3, and B over A equal 3 over 4. Antecedent over antecedent equals sequent over sequent. Very, very important. Property number 4. If A over B equals C over D, if A over B equal C over D, then A equals C? No. A equals CM and B equal DM, where M is constant, not equal 0. For example, if A over B equal 2 over 3, then A equals 2, B equals 3? No. Why? A over B equal 2 over 3. 2 over 3 equal 4 over 6 or not? Equal 4 over 6. Equal 6 over 9 or not? Equal 6 over 9. In this case, A equals 2 or 4 or 6. B equal 3 or 6 or 9. Then A equals 2M, where M is constant, not equal 0. Do you understand? Property number 4, if A over B equals C over D, then A equals C? No, A equals CM and B equals DM, where M is constant, not equal 0. Okay? Important remark, very, very important. If A, B, C, and D are proportional quantities, and we assume that A over B equals C over D equal M, M is constant, then A equals BM and C equal DM. A equals BM and C equal DM. For example, A over B equals C over D equals 3 over 4. Then A equals 3 over 4 B and C equals 3 over 4 D. Very, very important. Property number 5, very, very important. If we consider the proportional 9 over 15 equals 6 over 10 equals 3 over 5, all ratios equal constant, this is called proportion. If we add the antecedent and the consequent of first and the second, first 9 plus 6 over 15 plus 10 equals 15 over 25, and simplify 15 over 25 equals 3 over 5. 3 over 5, one of them, one ratio of them, which is one of given ratios. Okay? Also, if we add antecedent and the consequence of second and third ratios, second 6 plus third plus 3, 6 plus 3 over 10 plus 5 equals 9 over 15. Simplify the ratio equal 3 over 5. 3 over 5, one of given ratio. Also, if we add the antecedents and the consequence of 3 given ratios, we get the ratio. If we add the antecedents over add the consequent equals one of given ratio. 9 plus 6 plus 3 over 15 plus 10 plus 5 equals 18 over 30. Simplify the ratio equal 3 over 5. 3 over 5, one of given ratio. Do you understand the property number 5? If we add the antecedents and consequence of the 3 given ratio of the given ratios, we get the ratio. We get the ratio, one of the given ratio. Very, very important. Example number 1, choose the correct answer. If A over B equals 3 over 2, then A plus B over A minus B. At first, A over B equal 3 over 2. By using the properties, then A equals 3m, B equals 2m, where m is constant, not equal 0. Okay? Then A plus B over A minus B equals A equals 3m plus B equals 2m over A equals 3m minus 2m equals 3m plus 2m equals 5m over 3m minus 2m equals m, and cancel m with m equals 5. Yes. A plus B over A minus B equals 5. Another example. If A over B equals C over D equals 3 over 4, then A plus C over P plus D. By using the properties of proportional, A plus C over P plus B. By using property number 5. Property number 5. Property number 5 said the sum of all antecedents over the sum of all consequents equals one of the given ratio. A plus C over B plus D equals 3 over 4, one of the given ratio. Or another solution, A over B equals C over D equals 3 over 4. Then A equals 3 over 4B and C equal 3 over 4D. Then A plus C over B plus D equals A equals 3 over 4, 3 over 4B plus C equals 3 over 4 D over B plus D. Three over 4. Common factor between them equals P plus D over P plus D. Cancel B plus D with B plus D equal 3 over 4. The answer equal 3 over 4. Do you understand the ratio and properties of the ratio and proportional and properties of proportional? Thanks for listening and have a nice day.